Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing kind of okay. I'm a little bit tired. I didn't sleep very well last night at all. So I'm perhaps a little bit less energetic than I typically am. However, going to go through quite a number of articles that I've somewhat pre-prepared. I've pre-prepared most of them. Going to read through them, not necessarily the entire articles, but the key aspects of them, and I may make some standalone videos separate to that. You may get overloaded by your notifications. If you do like the video, subscribe, like, comment, blah, de, blah, blah. Hopefully, a few people, a couple of people, at least one person, hopefully, pops into the chat during the live stream so we can have a little bit of a conversation. But if that doesn't happen, that's perfectly fine too. And I'm going to mention before I forget that you may like to check out some other channels, friends of the channel, so to speak. So I do have my own other channel called White Cis Male, which covers political topics from a right wing point of view. It's a bit silly, it's a bit ridiculous, but you may like that channel. You may not. At the end of the day, Bella does some very nice live streams. Just very friendly community. So if you are looking for a place just to chill out, just to have a bit of a pleasant time, then at the end of the day, it ought to fit the bill. As will kind of whatever. Once my computer shows it properly, kind of whatever. Jenny, Lottie, they basically do live streams and bit of general chit chat, and it's a nice friendly environment. It does look like my browser is struggling today. It has been struggling so far. So hopefully that doesn't cause too many problems. But yeah, there we go. All right, so let's start off with some positive news. We'll have a look at a few missing persons case, and thankfully the first article is positive. Missing Marnie Clayton, 18 years of age, and I made a video. We talked about Marnie in yesterday's live stream. She has been found safe and well, 30 miles from where she was last seen. So let's have a look through that. A teenager who was reported missing in the early hours of Sunday morning has been found more than 30 miles away, with officers arresting a man on suspicion of false imprisonment. So Marnie was last seen leaving the Attic nightclub 2 a.m. Sunday morning, and then she disappeared. And thankfully, she's returned safe and well. A 21-year-old man from Reading has been arrested on suspicion of battery, assault, occasioning actual bodily harm, breach of police bail, false imprisonment, so kidnapping, I believe, would be a fair interpretation. I could be wrong. And making threats to kill. He currently remains in police custody. So it looks like 18-year-old Marnie was, perhaps allegedly apprehended, kidnapped, falsely imprisoned by a 21-year-old man from Reading, who the police have arrested, and we hope and expect will face adequate punishment. Let me delete the bot. There we go. All right, so that's good news, isn't it? So it does give us a little bit more information. Apparently, there was a video released, and look, in this video, someone says, "Bro, you're on BBC News, bro." That ain't me, bro. So I don't know. I haven't seen that video, but apparently there was a video released um, where perhaps the alleged person was on the video having seen a news bulletin discussing Marnie Clayton's being missing. Anyway, good news. So, unfortunately, that's the only bit of good news that we have, I think, throughout the rest of the this live stream. The other topics that I'll be discussing will be pretty dark. So, a bit of a trigger warning for you. Store clerk still missing days after vanishing while taking trash to dumpster. A man was arrested on Saturday in connection with the disappearance of Virginia woman who reportedly vanished on Wednesday while finishing up her shift. Northumberland County Police said in a statement that Tyrone Samuel, 50 years of age, has been charged with abducting Ariel Smith, 28 years of age. Ariel Smith's relatives said that she was last seen on January the 12th at Claraville Little Sue store in Heathsville, where she works as a clerk. Prior to her disappearance, surveillance cameras reportedly filmed her leaving the store to start her car. Minutes later, she was spotted getting into another car and getting out. She was then filmed returning back to the store to turn on the alarm. Ariel Smith, was last seen locking the front door and picking up a bag of garbage on the porch. Cameras filmed her bringing the trash to the dumpster before she goes out of frame, and then seemingly she was missing from that point onwards. Police feel that Ariel Smith got into another car, and police are seeking a Crown Vic car with tinted windows, which they believe is connected to Smith's ongoing disappearance. So here's a Crown Vic car, just as a bit of an example, so that you know what type of vehicle she potentially, allegedly got into. The type of car which is often used as a police car, I believe, in various states. Anyway, so obviously we wish the best for Ariel Smith. And of course, if anyone does have any information, call the local authorities. But we're going to move on to the next article. The allegedly abusive boyfriend of a 30-year-old California woman who vanished last month has been charged with her murder. Though police have not yet found a body. I'll tell you what, I just need to do an audio check. Let's see if we can do an audio check. Oh yeah, audio is perfectly fine. That's all good. And let's do that too. Let's do that. Right. All right. So back to this. The allegedly abusive boyfriend of a 30-year-old California woman who vanished last month has been charged with her murder, though police have not yet found a body. Missy Hernandez vanished after attending an art show in Fresno on December the 7th. She's an artist herself and was a regular on the pop-up art show scene in Central California before her disappearance. Police arrested Hernandez's boyfriend, Ramon Jimenez, 41 years of age, on December the 8th, while they were looking for her. It is unclear who first reported Hernandez missing, but during the initial search, police recognized Jimenez from a previous domestic assault warrant in which Hernandez was the alleged victim. The suspect's arrest was not immediately made public. Prosecutors reportedly convinced a judge to keep Jimenez in custody while detectives continued the missing persons investigation. Okay, so that's what's happened. So there's no body. No body has been found. She is still missing, and unfortunately, it looks like police are assuming that she has been murdered. There's been evidence found of domestic violence or violence at least at the residence, at her residence, if I understand correctly. And police have arrested or have in custody Ramon Jimenez, her boyfriend. So, we hope that the police are wrong. We hope that she is not dead. We hope that she is found safe and well. We also hope that the police investigation continues, and if it is found that Ramon Jimenez is guilty of murder or such, then he is dealt with accordingly. To the back of the head. Cops are searching for a woman after her boyfriend allegedly stabbed her in the neck. Irene Luivano, 37 years of age, was last seen early Sunday morning around Camelback Road and 27th Avenue, according to police in Phoenix, Arizona. And it's possibly in a gray Chevy Impala. There's an example of a gray Chevy Impala. Family says they went to dinner with her to the Silverado Canter Bar, They said they later got a call from her at 4 a.m. in which she said her boyfriend had stabbed her in the neck. That was the last apparently anyone had heard from her. The Arizona Department of Public Safety says that the woman's boyfriend was found at a local hospital with self inflicted stab wounds. Here's a quote from police spokesman Sergeant Vincent Cole. At this time, the missing person remains open and active. Miss Loveno's romantic partner was contacted by police at a local hospital and was questioned. He was subsequently booked into jail for charges unrelated to her disappearance. Luovano is reportedly a mother of 6 children, and she is also a grandmother. Um, okay, so obviously her family are extremely worried. It's known that she was stabbed in the neck by her boyfriend. I believe. Oh no, that's alleged, but I mean, it seems kind of clear. Allegedly, she was stabbed in the neck by her boyfriend, and that boyfriend has been charged by police, um, but in an unrelated matter. In an unrelated matter. Um, so it's not looking good. I guess her family are extremely concerned. Of course, we wish the best for Irene Luovano and her 6 children. And again, at least we have some respite. Is that the right word? Some blessing, some silver lining, in that the prime suspect, the alleged prime suspect, the boyfriend, is in custody, although they haven't been charged with anything in relation to this event. And just to clarify, as far as I understand, her body has not been found at this point. She is still a missing person, but police are struggling to find reasons to be positive at this point. So let's move on to another grim, dark tale. And this is in regards to Charlie's Mutton, which we discussed in yesterday's live stream. I've made a standalone video in regards to Charlie's, and we're going to have a look at 3 articles. We're not going to go through every last detail. I've just highlighted some key points within the articles because there is a lot of overlap. But Charlie's Mutton has been missing for 5 days now, from a very prestigious property in Sydney's Blue Mountains. The property is called Wildenstein, and it's a wedding venue. It's a wedding venue. It's a seemingly a beautiful property, 5 hectares, 12 acres, something like that. Um, Now, the Blue Mountains in Sydney is essentially the bush, and there are very nice properties within that. So this is a very nice, beautiful, well manicured property, a wedding venue within the Blue Mountains. But of course, outside of any of the areas that it's very well maintained, it's bushland with very thick scrub. And there's been a huge response in regards to Charlize's disappearance. There's been a huge response. There's been, I'm going to say, hundreds of police. Uh, Perhaps the number's wrong, but I think hundreds of police. I think hundreds of volunteer SES, State Emergency Services volunteers, are aiding with this search. There's been divers. There's been all kinds of resources thrown at this disappearance. It has entered the 5th day, and at this point, as one of the articles tells us, uh, she will be. If we presume that she's alive, then she's going to be in a very weakened state. She won't be mobile. She won't be walking. She'll be in desperate need of water. She'll be extremely weak. Um, But yeah, the third article that we'll look at is going to give us some more dark information. But let's have a look at this first one. Detectives have been thrown an unexpected curveball in the search for missing Charlize Mutton, with family members now unable to confirm the last thing the 9-year-old was seen wearing before she disappeared without a trace. So yeah, we were told that she was wearing a pink top, black knee length skirt, and a pink Nike thongs. Thongs being flip flops, sandals or such. But now, seemingly, the mother and the stepfather are saying, "Whoopsie daisy, we don't actually know what she was wearing. We've got no idea." Um, by the way, she was missing. She went missing on Thursday evening, and she wasn't reported until 8:20 a.m. on Friday morning, which is cause for concern. Why didn't the parents contact the authorities sooner? What is the reasons for that? But back to the article. As the desperate search for the young girl with a bright smile enters its fifth day, it's also been revealed Charlize's biological father issued a cryptic post over social media on Sunday night. Okay, so essentially the biological father sent out a bit of a bitchy post in regards to the stepfather, Charlie's stepfather. So here's what the biological father tweeted, I think. Oh no, he posted it on Facebook. Has anyone won? Has anyone won the world's most hopeless person award twice? We have a repeat entry this year. So he's basically the biological father is basically stating on his Facebook account that the stepfather is hopeless, which is a bit of a soft insult, if you ask me, given the severity of this situation. But in any case, the biological father is throwing shade at the stepfather. Doubt now hangs over the description of what Charlize was last wearing. As we just mentioned a moment ago, neither Charlize's mother, Callista Mutton, nor her father, Mr. Stein, have been able to tell police definitively what the schoolgirl was wearing when she was last seen on the veranda of the Wildenstein property last Thursday afternoon. Detectives are treating the disappearance as a possible homicide, with officers spending 5 hours on Monday scouring the property she vanished from. So, police and the state emergency services have been searching for her pretty much non-stop. They've had to stop due to weather issues. But outside of that, they've thrown a lot of resources to find missing Charlize, which, to me, just shows or indicates the seriousness of what's occurring here. Rural fire service volunteers found a very small and barefooted footprint along a trail just a few kilometers away from where Charlize was last seen, with New South Wales Police Inspector Gary Sims also telling reporters certain items had been found. But Inspector Sims said the items unfortunately haven't led to anything that gives us a definite indication of her location. So I'm going to say that that's very concerning. They found a barefooted footprint, which may or may not be Charlize's, but that was found a few kilometers away, along with some certain items. So, I mean, to me, that my take on that, for whatever it's worth, is the police are at least fairly confident that those certain items that have been found do relate to Charlize, or at least relate to her disappearance. And if they were found a few kilometers away from the property, that's extremely concerning because, as I mentioned, the property itself seemingly is extremely well maintained, extremely well manicured. It's a beautiful property, but as soon as you step outside of the main property itself, you're in the middle of the bush, in Australia, and there's a lot of dangers out there. Least of all the elements, or not least of all the elements. The heat, the cold, but you've got wildlife, you've got snakes, you've got spiders, you've got all sorts. I don't think you have big cats. I don't think there are big cats, but there may be big cats in the Blue Mountains. But I mean, certainly nature is vicious in this area for sure. Neighbors told detectives they saw a car with no headlights driving away from the area at 4:30 a.m. on Friday. Okay, well that's very fucking concerning. Um, if that did actually happen, why the fuck would a car drive away from the area with no headlights on at 4:30 a.m.? So that's extremely suspicious. That evening, police impounded a vehicle in Sydney's west. Acting Superintendent John Nelson said a 31-year-old man from this location has been helping us with our inquiries. Okay. Now, I've noticed in these Daily Mail articles at several points, they say, by the way, the Daily Mail isn't insinuating in any way that Justin Stein, the stepfather, is in any way related or implicated in this situation in Charlize's disappearance. The Daily Mail has been extremely careful to say that, and I'm going to say the same thing. I'm not in any way suggesting Justin Stein is in any way related, um, implicated with Charlize's disappearance. However, I am going to wonder if that 31-year-old man from this location that's been helping with inquiries is Justin. I do wonder that, and I think I know what the answer is. And if this car, which potentially, allegedly, did drive away from the area at 4:30 a.m. with no lights on, if that is Justin's car, it may or may not be. I'm not 100% sure, but we do know that the police have impounded a Red Ute. This Red Ute. Okay, so police have seized a Red Ute as part of their investigation, which will be forensically examined. Now, here it's not telling us who this Ute belongs to. However, I'm quite sure it has previously told us who it belongs to. Um, but I don't want to say just in case I get that slightly wrong. Anyhow, we'll move on to the next article in regards to Charlize Mutton's disappearance. A Red Ute belonging to Charlie. Yeah, okay, right. So this just reminds me. A Red Ute belonging to Charlize Mutton's stepfather, so that's Justin Stein, is at the center of the police investigation into her disappearance, as officers confirm that they still don't know what the 9-year-old was wearing when she vanished. Okay, um, so yeah, unless I'm very much mistaken, and I don't think I am, this vehicle, the Red Ute, which will be forensically examined by police, is owned by Justin Stein. Just to be clear, the same with the Daily Mail. I do not, and this channel does not, in any way suggest that Justin Klein is in any way implicated in, responsible for, in any way related to the disappearance of the 9-year-old Charlize Mutton. I'm just reading through this article. That's all I'm doing. But yeah, that's quite concerning. I'll repeat that. A Red Ute belonging to Charlize Mutton's stepfather is at the center of the police investigation into Charlize Mutton's disappearance. Daily Mail Australia is not suggesting Mr. Stein had anything to do with Charlize's disappearance, and nor am I. Simply that his vehicle's movements are being examined. A small group of emergency services workers whose numbers have been depleted by a COVID outbreak among volunteers were warned on day 5 of the search that the 9-year-old would be by now lethargic and stationary. So yes, if we pray, if we hope, if we believe that Charlize is still with us, is still alive, then if she is somewhere in the bush, she's going to be in a bad way. She's going to be extremely weak. She's not going to be able to walk. It's day 5. She's not going to be mobile, a police officer told the Rural Fire Service and SES searchers. The officer warned that Charlize would need water from a bottle, puddle, or a dam. Um, so yeah, she's going to be extremely weak, and I don't really know about these things, but I think it would be quite possible, if not quite likely, that she would or could die from the elements alone, from the lack of water alone. At this point, I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about there. I'm merely thinking out aloud. Let's have a look at this third article in regards to Charlize Mutton's disappearance, and this is where things really ratchet up. Charlize Mutton's stepfather is a convicted serious drug offender who was serving parole in the community after he was caught with a large amount of drugs 6 years ago. Well, that's not good. So the stepfather, whose vehicle is at the center of the investigation, allegedly, is a convicted drug offender. And he's currently serving parole after he was caught with a large amount of drugs 6 years ago. Justin Lauren Stein, 31 years of age, and his fiancée, Callista Mutton, Charlize's mother, are assisting police as the search for the missing 9-year-old enters its 5th day. Daily Mail Australia can reveal Justin Stein, was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison in 2017 for possessing a marketable quantity of a border-controlled drug the previous year. He was locked up about the same time Charlize's mother received a 3-year sentence with a non-parole period of 2 years for dangerous driving, occasioning death while high on methamphetamines. Well, that's not good. What does that mean? Dangerous driving, occasioning death. I'll tell you what I think that means, and I might well be wrong. I think that means that the mother was on drugs, methamphetamines, and she killed someone. You know, I don't know any of the details of that, and I could be entirely wrong, but I think that that's what that term means. Dangerous driving, occasioning death. So, seemingly, according to the Daily Mail Australia, both Justin Stein and the mother, Charlize's mother, are convicted criminals, and both relate to drugs. The article tells us he first became eligible for parole on December the 7th, 2019, after serving a minimum sentence of 3 years and 9 months. Daily Mail Australia understands he was released from custody in November 2020, and by December 2020, he and Miss Mutton, the mother, were engaged. His ex-girlfriend confirmed Stein had not long been out of jail and was out of work, living with his mother. Stein's full sentence won't expire until September this year. The mother is a former ice addict who served 2 years in jail for killing her 53-year-old friend after driving off-road and into the Tweed River while high on drugs. She was convicted of dangerous driving occasioning death and driving with an illicit substance in her system, and she was sentenced to 2 years jail. Well, that seems like a very light sentence for killing somebody. But in any case, both the mother and the stepfather are convicted criminals. This concerns me. The court heard, despite checking into a rehabilitation clinic after the crash, Miss Mutton relapsed into ice use and was also expelled from a clinic at Logan in Queensland after she threatened a fellow resident with violence. Daily Mail Australia, and nor does this channel, nor myself, does not suggest that Miss Mutton is still using drugs. So yeah, she might be clean at this point, but she did kill somebody, her friend, while she was driving under the influence of methamphetamine, and she served 2 years in jail for that, if I understand correctly. Okay, so again, the Daily Mail is reiterating, and this applies to myself, of course. Daily Mail is not suggesting Mr. Stein had anything to do with Charlize's disappearance, only that his vehicle's movements are being examined on the day as police cover off every angle. And of course, from this channel, from myself, I'm also not suggesting the same. I'm merely reading through a couple of articles. That's all I'm doing. And I think that's really all the information that we have in regards to Charlize's disappearance at this stage. But to me, it's not looking good, I'm afraid. It's not looking good. We hope, we pray that Charlize Mutton is found safe and well. But there are so many question marks going on here. Why wasn't she reported missing sooner? And there are some other things which I'm not going to mention because, as with the Daily Mail Australia, I don't really want to suggest that I'm attempting to implicate either the mother or the stepfather. But, having said that, the police have impounded, if I understand correctly, the stepfather's vehicle and are performing a forensic investigation on that. And I think it is relevant to the case. Sorry, it may not be relevant to the case, but it's important to note that both the mother and the stepfather are convicted criminals. So I don't know. I'm going to leave that one there, and we're going to move on to another extremely dark topic, which includes child murder once more. What's wrong with the world? The big sister of a little girl allegedly tortured and murdered by her anti-vaxxer mother and father has broken her silence with a heartbreaking plea for help. Elizabeth Rose Strews, 8 years of age, was found dead at her hometown in Toowoomba in Queensland, Australia, after her parents allegedly stopped giving her vital type 1 diabetes medication. So that fundamentally is why she has died, allegedly, is because her parents stopped giving her the medication that she needed to keep her alive, allegedly. Mother of 8, Kerry, 46 years of age, and father Jason, 50 years of age, instead allegedly prayed over the child in a bizarre religious ritual at their home-based church cult. So those are the key allegations made. I don't know how accurate it is, but according to this article, according to some allegations, there was a home-based church cult going on in which the parents allegedly decided that praying was a better solution than providing the young girl with the medication that she was prescribed with. They have now been charged with murder, torture, and failing to provide the necessities of life for the youngster. Elizabeth's 5 youngest siblings face life alone with their parents in jail awaiting trial, but eldest sister Jay Strews has now vowed to take over the shattered family. Okay, so the eldest daughter has vowed, excuse me, to raise the younger children, and she has a GoFundMe, which is here. She's still got a long way to go. She's asking for 100,000. She's raised 4,000 so far. My name is Jade Strews. I'm the elder sister of Elizabeth Strews. On Tuesday, our extended family were confronted by the news that has left us completely shattered and heartbroken. We discovered the death of Elizabeth in the cruelest of ways. No other family should have to hear or experience what we have had to endure. So she goes on to say that the responsibility of the children's future is something we've always fought to protect, and we will continue to do that for the rest of our lives. When the full-time guardianship is decided, I will dedicate all money raised to providing the ongoing care for my 5 youngest family members to ensure they remain in a safe, secure, and loving home. So, if we presume that Jade Strews is genuine, I'm sorry for raising that, but some GoFundMes perhaps aren't that genuine. But if we presume that Jade Strews is, and I've got no reason to doubt that, then Yes, she'll be donating as much money as has been raised, as will be raised, to the safekeeping, the upkeeping of the remaining children. All right, guys. So I think I'm going to wrap things up there. I've been going on for half an hour, 35 minutes. I haven't, unfortunately, had anyone pop in to say hello to me apart from 4 bots. So thank you to the 4 bots for joining in. But I think I'll wrap things up there. I feel a little bit low energy today, as I've mentioned. But there is other news out there as well. I'll perhaps do another live stream tomorrow. I may or may not do. I perhaps might make some standalone videos. We'll see. So it's a great thing that Marnie Clayton has been found. But the most concerning subject for me, for whatever reason, is Charlie's Mutton. Again, I'm personally, my read on the situation is that the worst has happened. That's my read on it. I hope that that's incredibly wrong, but it's clear that the police are extremely concerned for her welfare. And I don't know, it just seems like too many question marks going on to be confident that she'll be found safe and well. But of course, we pray, we hope that she does return safe and well. Anyway, so there's this live stream. Do like, comment, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.